powerful message delivered by the Virgin Mary in Medjugorje has left millions of people deeply moved, especially after Mirjana, a key messenger of this divine revelation, was brought to tears by the Virgin's final words. These words have resonated across the globe, offering both a warning and an urgent call to prepare for an unprecedented transformation that will alter humanity's course. In these challenging times, where so many are seeking guidance, the Virgin's message serves not as a source of fear, but as a beacon of hope and spiritual clarity, urging us to embrace the significance of the times we live in. This coming change is not only physical, as evidenced by the increasing frequency of natural disasters, shifting landscapes, and the displacement of entire communities, but it is also deeply spiritual. It is a time when people will be called to confront their inner state, to reflect on their faith, and to prepare for a transformative event that will reshape the world. While the signs may seem disconnected to some, those with spiritual insight understand that these events are all interconnected, signaling a profound shift that is already underway. Mary's message is clear. We are standing on the edge of a monumental change. The barrier between the known and the unknown is beginning to blur, and the world we once knew is giving way to a new, unpredictable reality. This, however, is not a message of despair. It is a divine alert to prepare. Those who heed the call and cultivate spiritual readiness will be equipped to navigate these turbulent times with strength, faith, and wisdom. Central to this message is the need for supernatural protection, which can only be achieved through prayer. As a loving mother, the Virgin Mary watches over all of God's children, offering her protection and guidance in the face of growing darkness. Prayer, she emphasizes, is not just a ritual or a devotional act. It is a powerful, transformative force that can alter the course of history. By uniting in prayer, the faithful will find solace, protection, and strength to withstand the challenges ahead. But the Virgin Mary's message is not limited to the call to pray. It extends to the call to true, heartfelt prayer. Memorizing words is not enough. True prayer must be accompanied by sincere action, a commitment to living out the faith in our everyday lives. It is through this authentic prayer and action that we will be empowered to stand firm, to resist the forces of darkness, and to face the difficult times ahead with courage and trust in God's grace. Now more than ever, we are called to deepen our relationship with God through prayer and to unite in faith. As we face a world in turmoil, the power of prayer and the protection it offers will be our greatest defense. With Mary's guidance, let us open our hearts to her message, prepare ourselves spiritually, and stand together in faith as we face the challenges of the future. The Virgin Mary's urgent call to spiritual and physical preparedness in these challenging times. The Virgin Mary's message is a clarion call to all of us to live in alignment with the laws of God. Each action, each thought, and every choice we make must be guided by a higher power, something greater than our own will or understanding. The current circumstances of the world are unprecedented, and as we face these trying days, it becomes clear that disobeying God's divine commandments will lead to grave consequences. The Virgin Mary urges us to live according to God's will, suggesting that hollow words and empty actions, those devoid of true faith, will not carry us through the coming trials. Instead, we must cultivate a life of sincerity and integrity, grounding ourselves in spiritual principles that provide the strength to endure what is to come. One of the most profound aspects of her message revolves around a specific prophecy: the 3 days of darkness. This event has been foretold by many historical and spiritual sources for centuries, and it is said to mark a moment of extreme physical and spiritual darkness enveloping the earth. The Virgin Mary reveals that during these 3 days, the world will be completely shrouded in a deep, all-encompassing darkness. Modern technology, electricity, communication, and human knowledge will fail, leaving humanity in a state of silence and solitude. This darkness is not a metaphor. It is a real, tangible phenomenon that will affect everyone on the planet. A great test of faith and spiritual strength during these 3 days of darkness. The faithful will be tested like never before. Those who have built a strong, unwavering foundation of faith will endure, though it will be painful and challenging. But for those whose spiritual lives are weak, or who have neglected their relationship with God, the experience will be profoundly unsettling. There will be no rational explanation for the calamities unfolding before us, and in such a time, it will be our faith alone that can offer us guidance and comfort. The Virgin Mary emphasizes that this moment of intense darkness will be a great test of faith, a purification that will strip away all external distractions and force us to confront our innermost truths. This purification is not merely external, it is a profound spiritual awakening. In the absence of worldly lights and comforts, only the light of faith and our relationship with God will guide us through the storm. In these days, delusions and false facades will crumble, leaving only what is true and real in our hearts. It will be a time for each of us to reconnect with God in the purest sense, without the distractions of modern life clouding our judgment. Preparing for the spiritual and physical challenges ahead, the Virgin Mary's message is clear. Spiritual preparedness is crucial. We are called to deepen our relationship with God through sincere prayer, devotion, and spiritual discipline. The prayer life we cultivate now will be the foundation on which we can stand when the darkness descends. But this preparation is not just about spiritual readiness. It also requires practical steps to ensure we can endure the physical challenges that may arise. In the absence of modern technology, we will need to rely on our basic instincts and resourcefulness to survive. The Virgin Mary urges us to stockpile essential supplies such as food, candles, matches, and other necessities. These practical steps will give us a sense of security when the infrastructure we rely on fails. Her call to prepare is urgent. Now is the time to act. The world's current state, with its increasing instability, conflict, and breakdown of social order, suggests that the moment of reckoning is not far off. We must begin now, both spiritually and physically, to prepare ourselves for the challenges that lie ahead. The call for global fraternity, another important part of the Virgin Mary's message, is the need for global fraternity. Despite the growing divisions caused by injustice, conflict, and a lack of solidarity, we must remember that we are all brothers and sisters in Christ. We are members of the same global family, united by our common belief in God. In a world that seems increasingly divided, the Virgin Mary calls us to remember our shared humanity and faith. The division between nations, races, and religions must be overcome through solidarity and mutual care. We are all in this together, and in the times of darkness ahead, it will be our unity and faith that will help us navigate the challenges and emerge stronger as one global family. Living according to God's will ultimately, the Virgin Mary's message boils down to the importance of living authentically and sincerely. To be truly prepared, we must align every aspect of our lives with the laws of God. This is not a time for pretense or complacency. It is a time to live out our faith with conviction, trusting that our actions, rooted in love and obedience to God, will carry us through the darkest of times. Hollow words and dishonest actions will not be enough to see us through the trials ahead. Only those who live with integrity and genuine devotion will be able to withstand the challenges that lie in wait. Conclusion: a time for action and reflection. The Virgin Mary's message is not one of fear, but a call to prepare, both spiritually and practically, for the trials that are already beginning to unfold. By deepening our relationship with God, preparing for the practical challenges ahead, and uniting in global fraternity, we can stand firm in our faith, even in the darkest days. The 3 days of darkness will be a great test, but it will also be a time for profound spiritual renewal. Let us heed the Virgin Mary's call to live according to God's will, to prepare now, and to unite as a global family. Only through prayer, action, and devotion will we have the strength to endure the difficult days ahead. Thank you for joining us today. We encourage you to reflect on these messages and share your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and stay updated on the urgent call to spiritual and physical preparedness. Together, let us face the future with unwavering faith and a renewed commitment to God's will. Embracing unity, love, and spiritual readiness. Preparing for the days ahead in these troubled times, it's clear that the sense of unity we seek cannot merely be an ideal to discuss. It must become a living reality in our daily lives. The strength of our shared faith and commitment to spiritual principles forms a powerful network of prayer, support, and mutual care. This network is not only a refuge, but also the strongest defense we have against the growing darkness that threatens the world. However, this kind of unity won't emerge by itself. It requires deliberate and intentional effort. We must set aside our differences, whether they be based on social status, ethnicity, or religion, and come together as fellow believers. In the face of the challenges ahead, our universal fraternity must be our bedrock, the very foundation of a resilient and compassionate society. The Virgin Mary's teachings are clear. We must live a life guided by love. This love is not passive or abstract. It is an active, transformative force that will carry us through the impending trials. Love, in its truest sense, is not a fleeting emotion. It is a deep, sustained commitment to God's will and to the welfare of others. In practical terms, this means our love must be visible in our daily actions, in the choices we make, and in the sacrifices we offer for the good of others. Love will be our sustaining force during difficult times, providing the strength to endure, the courage to face uncertainty, and the perseverance to keep going when the way ahead is unclear. While the message of the Virgin Mary may seem grim at times, with prophecies of significant challenges ahead, there is one constant reminder in her words: we are not alone. Mary, as the loving mother of us all, is ever present, watching over us, guiding us, and offering her support and protection. No matter how severe the storm or dark the days may seem, her presence provides a source of comfort and strength for every one of God's children. Her love is the assurance that we will never have to face these trials in isolation. A call for deep spiritual renewal throughout her messages, Mary emphasizes the need for spiritual rejuvenation, a renewal of our relationship with God. This is not about merely reciting prayers or following rituals mechanically. Rather, it calls for a genuine, ongoing commitment to cultivate a personal relationship with the divine. Spirituality cannot be reduced to a checklist. It requires deep reflection, prayer, and the willingness to be transformed. Mary encourages us to engage in a personal conversion, one that is ongoing and leads us to align our will with God's. To be prepared for the difficult times ahead, we must prioritize what truly matters: our relationship with God and the service we offer to others. This means turning away from self-centeredness, worldly distractions, and the pride that so often keeps us from fully embracing God's love and the needs of those around us. True spiritual maturity requires an active commitment to humility, compassion, and sacrifice for the common good. Preparing for the transformative events ahead, one of the most important aspects of the Virgin Mary's message is the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness. This event is not just a theoretical idea or a distant possibility. It is something that the Virgin Mary warns us to prepare for. Already, we are witnessing signs that point toward a world-altering event that will dramatically affect every aspect of our lives. These signs manifest in the growing natural disasters, political instability, and the increasing moral decay we see around us. The world is changing, and the times we are living in are filled with uncertainty and chaos. Mary urges us to take immediate action, to strengthen our spiritual lives, to pray sincerely, and to prepare physically for the hardships ahead. The 3 days of darkness will be a period of profound testing. The loss of modern technology, the disappearance of light, and the silence of the world will create a challenge unlike anything we have known. It will be a time of spiritual purification, where only those who have developed a deep relationship with God will be able to navigate the darkness. But this is not a time to panic. The Virgin Mary's message is one of hope, not fear. Though the days ahead will be difficult, they are also an opportunity for spiritual growth and transformation. Those who have prepared their hearts and minds will not only survive these challenges, they will thrive, emerging with a renewed faith and a stronger connection to God. The role of global fraternity and Unity Mary's call for global fraternity is perhaps more urgent than ever. In a world that increasingly feels divided by politics, culture, and even religion, Mary reminds us that we are all brothers and sisters in God's eyes. Despite the conflicts and insecurities that plague our world, we must unite in faith, love, and solidarity. The challenges ahead are not individual battles. They are global struggles that require a unified response from all believers. This global fraternity is not just about feeling united, it's about acting together. We must set aside our differences and focus on what binds us: our shared belief in God and our shared responsibility to care for one another. In the coming trials, the love of God and the love for each other will be the source of our strength. Together, we can build a world that is resilient in the face of adversity, where compassion and mutual support become the foundation of society. Living with faith, courage, and love. In conclusion, the Virgin Mary's message is an urgent call to prepare spiritually and physically for the difficult times ahead. We must strengthen our faith, deepen our love, and act with wisdom to navigate the changes that are coming. While the 3 days of darkness may seem like a frightening prospect, they are also an opportunity to renew our commitment to God and to embrace the love that will sustain us. The key to surviving, and even flourishing, through these trials is faith, prayer, and preparation. With the Virgin Mary as our guide and protector, and with a global community united in love and action, we can face the challenges ahead with courage and hope. Together we will walk through the darkness into the light of a new dawn. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We encourage you to reflect on these messages, to prepare spiritually and physically, and to share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to stay updated on future content, and remember, faith and love will guide us through. May the Virgin Mary's protection and intercession be with you always.